Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Tune In with Katrina. Today is December 1st, and here's what we have going on energetically this week. First, we have just that it's beginning of the month, and it's not only the beginning of a month, it's the beginning of the last month of our calendar year. And so there's this awareness that we are winding down, that we are moving toward the end, toward a beginning. And that sometimes makes us lean into start to question, just like we do at the beginning of January, oftentimes, what is it that I'm doing? Where am I headed? Where am I going? What is my idea, my vision that I'm crafting for my future? And while that might be a month away, moving into the beginning of January, as we near that beginning, we can begin to set the stage for what do we need to clear out of the way? How do we need to center ourselves? How are we setting ourselves up for what comes next, for that vision? And that's a lot of what this week's energy holds. So this week's energy is asking a powerful question as we are choosing our paths. Are we making the choice about where we're going, or are we letting our path choose us? And so there's this question, like, if we deepen into that, of our fate versus our free will. And and we can get kind of caught up in that, and the reality is that our whether or not we believe that our fate is predetermined, or that we're all just kind of rolling around out here with no direction in sight, right? Like, other than the one that we're choosing each moment. It doesn't I just want to talk about how, like, fate, destiny, it doesn't mean that everything is like predetermined, right? So even if we believe there is something that we are meant for, even if we believe that there is some reason that we're here, right? Like some kind of purpose we're meant to fulfill, it doesn't matter if that's what we believe or not. What matters is that how we get where we're going, whether it's predetermined or not, is shaped by our choices. And even if we do believe that there is a predetermined place that we are meant to arrive to, we can take countless paths to get there, right? And so that we can kind of take that question of, is it fate, is it destiny, is it not, off the table, and just say that each choice that we make adds up to something. Every choice shifts our trajectory, the pace, the ease, how deeply we walk our soul's path in this lifetime, whatever that is for us, and however we hold that to be. So there's this choice point, and that's, sometimes we're faced with a like a choice, like a point where we have this path or this path that we can take. And then there's also just the choices that we're making every day, moment by moment. And we're more aware of the choices that we're making, how maybe the importance of them when we're at that kind of crossroads. But regardless of what it is, there's a difference between making that choice from our head or from our body. And so, we often get caught up in thinking things through. Like, how many times have you thought or been told to make a list of pros and cons, right? To rationally figure the choice out. And that takes us very much into the mind, very much into this place of, if I can just figure it out, I'll make the right choice. And we pull up out of the body, we bring all the energy up into the mind, and we lean very much into our rational brain. And I think this is a little bit reflective of what we were talking about last week. But this week it's really about the choices, and if we can be really aware of the moments of choice, especially the more important choices that we're making, especially when we're at those crossroads, when we are really aware of like, oh, this choice. I mean, I think every choice really matters, right? But this choice is like a really important choice. Am I am I escaping my body, dissociating from my body, making everything come from my mind, or am I deepening into the experience of my body and letting my choice come from that wisdom? So the body is truly our greatest divination tool. It will not steer us wrong. Our body knows so much more than our list of pros and cons could ever know. There is the sensation that we get from our body, the gut instinct we have comes from a knowing that goes beyond what our mind can perceive. And so, if we can tap into in those choice moments the experience of our body, am I feeling warm? Am I feeling open? Do I feel relaxed? Those are often signals that say, yes, this is the choice to make, versus the choice that maybe makes us feel colder, makes us contract, makes us feel, like we need to protect ourselves. Maybe, and sometimes, when we're first beginning to practice this and really sink into body sensation, we begin to bump into the walls that have been built through time from wounds, from traumas, from times we've been hurt or we've been manipulated. And so there's this unweaving of that, right? Where we be unraveling of it, where we can begin to, in our exploration of body sensation and choice, and I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here, we can begin to see what we're bumping into that still needs to be healed. And we can do that. This practice of using our body sensation can help us to see where those places are within us. So if I am sinking into my body sensation, do I go left? Do I go right? What does it feel like? Which one feels, I might get lost in, like, maybe I'm getting lost in a sensation of fear, and the fear doesn't like totally make sense, and I don't know if I should trust it or not. I don't know if that's my intuition, or if it's and it's real, or if it's something that like my mind is making up, or it's an energetic block I'm running into. That is one of the questions I get so often when it comes to intuition, when it comes to gut instinct is, well, how do I know? How do I know if I can trust it or not? And and that's a really great question. And it's a really great thing to observe within you and to explore, because oftentimes oftentimes there is something that maybe is just getting in the way of us trusting our gut instinct. And so, notice if you're getting lost in that, in the body sensation, in the not knowing if you can trust it, if it's real, and know that that's then a an invitation to explore something further, to explore what's there, what's blocking myself from knowing if I can trust it or not, from knowing if it's real or not. And so that's just one, within this practice of listening to the body, know that that's something you might run into, and it's just an invitation to deepen into this work. So, and to just become more present with the whole of your energy, to have it be more fluid, to bring all of you, the whole of you, into a fluid present moment, so that none of your energy is trapped in the past, in a fear moment, in a trauma moment. You can't think your way into destiny. So the pros and cons list, the way our rational mind wants to figure it out, it cannot compete with our instinctual wisdom. The body is ancient. It remembers truths that were held long before the mind could understand it. So access the wisdom your body has to offer in the moment about the choice. And we can practice this. We don't have to wait for like a big choice, right? That might be on deck for this week, but we can practice it in little choices, and we can begin to become aware of the body guiding us over the mind guiding us. And we can practice trusting that body wisdom over having to figure it out, having to have it make rational sense. And then that becomes our own validating proof. When we lean into the body's wisdom and we know we made the right choice and it didn't make rational sense, that is validation for us, and it helps us stand in that body wisdom the next time and the next time and the next time. So the body can feel our future alignment before our mind has proof. And so we think about, these choices that we have to make, and leaning into this body wisdom, this body knowing in the moment, in this present moment of making choice. But we can also project in our mind down the path of this choice, down the path of that choice. Envision, what is the vision of that hold? And it's maybe not even crafted like some people see it more clearly in their mind's eyes than others, like visually, with imagery, but just to project yourself into the future of that and feel what your body feels a little further down the path. What does it feel a year down that path? What does it feel 5 years down that path? Feel the body wisdom from your future self. We live in a quantum in the quantum field. We don't have to only make decisions from this point in time. I mean, really, if we think about it, right, like all time is collapsed. So this point in time is just kind of like the awareness I'm centering myself in right now. But I can center myself in an awareness that is, like I said, down this path, down this path, down this path, down a path that maybe I couldn't even perceive yet. Harkening back to a few weeks ago when we were talking about that lens of perception, where we see like a very narrow perspective on what this moment in reality holds. And if I just shift my lens, I can perceive something completely different. So can I broaden my understanding of my options? Are there more than two paths? Are there 5 paths? Are there 10 paths? And which path is my body leaning into? Does my body want to soften toward? And that is then the direction to practice trusting. So know that destiny isn't a direction. Destiny isn't a destination. It's not somewhere we finally arrive to. It's just a direction that we move into. And we can move into a new direction every moment. We can feel into, we're not going to like consciously be doing that every moment, because, that would be a wild way to, maybe we are, maybe you just get so good at it that you're so efficient at it that you can do it without even thinking about it. But as we're beginning to play with this concept, if this is a newer concept for you, then just being aware of those choice moments and practice this. This is a muscle that we build. We have to build the muscle of pulling all the way down through our body, because most of us have built the muscle of moving up into our mind. So we build the muscle. What does my body feel right now? What does my body feel for that choice? What other choices are there? Which way does my body want to lean? So you are aligned, you can be aligned with your choice in each moment in time, and 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 feel into the next best direction to take based on that wisdom. So that is what I have for you this week. On that note, there is the thing that I have coming up. I haven't announced it yet, but I have a really special offering that is all about the wisdom in our bodies. And it will be making its debut in early January. The people who have signed up for my holiday adventure will have immediate access, complimentary access. It is the bonus gift for this holiday adventure. And so today is the last day to become a part of the holiday adventure. You not only get the 9 gifts that as you move through this holiday season, as you wrap up your December, but you'll also get to step into January with this new offering already yours. So take a peek at it. I'm going to drop the link in the comments here. You have until tonight to access that. And I would be so honored to have you be a part of it. All right, have a wonderful week.